Your budgie has been chattering all morning. Chirping, clicking, making sounds you've heard 100 times. And you've been smiling at it, talking back to it, assuming everything is fine, but what if it isn't? What if that sound you've been hearing every single day, the one you thought meant your bird was happy, is actually your budgie telling you it's stressed, lonely, or scared? Here's what most owners never find out. Budgies don't make random noise. Every sound they produce is a message. A precise, biological signal shaped by millions of years of flock communication. And the difference between a happy budgie and a suffering one can come down to a single sound, one most owners completely misread. Welcome to Bird Intelligence. If you're new here, subscribe now, because what you're about to learn will permanently change the way you listen to your bird. Today we're decoding the 7 most important budgie sounds, what each one actually means, what your bird is telling you right now, and why number 3 is the one that catches almost every owner off guard. Stay until the end, because the last sound on this list is the one that hits closest to home. Sound number 1. The contact call. You've heard this one. A short, sharp chirp. Repeated. Sometimes rapid, sometimes spaced out. Your budgie does it when you leave the room. It does it when the house goes quiet. It does it when it can't see you. This is not random noise. This is your budgie asking a question that in the wild. Budgies live in flocks of hundreds. Sometimes thousands. They are never alone. The contact call is how they maintain awareness of every bird around them, a constant, living roll call that says, "I'm here." Where are you? When your budgie calls out and you answer, even just by talking back, whistling, or walking back into the room, you are completing that call. You are telling your bird, "I hear you. You're not alone." When nobody answers, the calls get faster. More urgent. More distressed. A budgie that contact calls repeatedly without response is not being noisy. It is experiencing genuine psychological stress. Flock animals that are isolated don't adapt to silence. They deteriorate in it. Answer your bird. Every time. It costs you nothing and it means everything to them. Sound number 2, the chatter. This is the sound most owners get right, and it's worth understanding exactly why it means what it means. When your budgie is babbling to itself, stringing together clicks, whistles, half-words, and soft warbling sounds in a long continuous stream, that bird is content. Deeply, genuinely content. That in the wild, budgies chatter within the flock during safe, relaxed periods, while foraging, while preening, while resting in sunlight. It is the sound of a bird that has assessed its environment and concluded, no threats, no danger, everything is fine. A budgie that chatters regularly throughout the day is a budgie that trusts its home. That trusts you. If your bird used to chatter and has gone quiet, pay attention. Silence in a bird that was previously vocal is rarely nothing. It can signal illness, depression from insufficient social interaction, or a change in the environment that has put your bird on edge. Chatter is not background noise. It is your bird's daily report on how it feels about its life. Learn to listen to it. Sound number 3, the stress chirp, the one most owners miss. It's a soft, repetitive chirp. Not loud. Not urgent. Easy to dismiss as contentment, especially if you're not listening closely. But there is something different about it, a flatness, a mechanical repetition, a lack of the variation and melody you hear in happy chattering. This is the stress chirp. And the reason most owners miss it is because it doesn't sound like distress. It sounds like a quieter version of normal. Avian behavioral research has consistently identified this low-level repetitive vocalization as a sign of chronic low-grade stress, the kind that builds slowly when a bird's needs aren't being met. Not dramatic trauma. Just a persistent background tension. The most common causes: a cage that's too small for flight. A mirror as the only social companion. Placement near a window with predator birds visible. Inconsistent daily routine. Too many hours of darkness or too few. The critical point is this: a bird making this sound is not in crisis. It is sending an early warning. And if that warning goes unread for weeks or months, what begins as stress chirping can progress to feather plucking, lethargy, and immune suppression, or budgie cannot tell you something is wrong in words. This sound is the closest it gets. Learn to recognize it. Sounds 4 and 5, the alarm call and the scream. Sounds 4 and 5 together, because they exist on the same spectrum. The alarm call is sharp. Loud. A single high-pitched chirp or a rapid series of them. Your budgie makes this sound when it sees something that triggers its prey instinct, a hawk outside the window, a cat entering the room, a sudden loud noise, even an unfamiliar object placed near the cage. This sound is unambiguous. Your bird is frightened. Your response should be immediate. Calmly approach, speak softly, identify and remove the threat if possible. The scream is the escalation. Prolonged, piercing, distressed. A budgie screaming is a budgie that has moved beyond alarm into panic. This is rare in a well-adjusted bird with a stable environment, and if it's happening regularly, the environment needs to change, not the bird. Never punish screaming. The bird is not misbehaving. It is communicating fear at maximum volume because every quieter signal was missed. Sound 6 and 7, the purr and the beak grind. These are the ones you want to hear every single day. The purr, a soft, low, continuous sound your budgie makes when it is being handled gently and feels completely safe, is the sound of total trust. It is rare in birds that have not been properly socialized and entirely common in birds that have been. If your budgie purrs in your hands, that bird has decided you are safe. Hold on to that. The beak grind, that quiet, rhythmic grinding sound your bird makes just before sleep, is one of the most reassuring sounds in avian behavior. It means your bird is calm, comfortable, and preparing to rest without anxiety. It is the budgie equivalent of a contented sigh at the end of a good day. A bird that grinds its beak at night is a bird that feels safe in its home. Budgies are not noisy for the sake of noise. They are vocal because in the wild, sound is survival. Every chirp, every chatter, every alarm call is a piece of information, about their world, about their flock, about you. The owners who build the deepest bonds with their birds are not the ones with the biggest cages or the most expensive toys. They are the ones who learn to listen. Your bird has been talking to you since the day it came home. Now you know what it's been saying. If number 3 surprised you, the stress chirp you may have been hearing without recognizing it, let me know in the comments. And if your budgie makes a sound you still can't figure out, describe it below. We'll decode it together. Subscribe to Bird Intelligence for a new video every week. Your bird is smarter than most people realize, and so are you for wanting to understand it.